What up, y'all? Y'all forget me? I'm pretty sure y'all did. What up? It's your man ES the Herman Star back again with another video, and I'm here to do the general read for the sign of Scorpio. So if you have Scorpio in your chart, Sun, Moon, or Rising, this is for you. Where have I been? I've been still alive, been around, but y'all don't appreciate me. Y'all don't watch these vids, none of that. So, like, I stopped reading. I stopped reading for y'all. I just simply stopped doing these reads. Like I've mentioned plenty times before, I don't got to do these reads for y'all. I don't got to do the reads for people. I'm doing one now because, honestly, I'm bored. I just recorded a string of videos for my other channel, which is totally unrelated to tarot, but I figured, you know, the day is still... I literally finished everything earlier than I assumed I would today and had nothing to do, so I said, you know what? Let me read for, some folk out there. And because the last time I did a read was for the sign of Libra, I like to do them in order. So after Libra is Scorpio. That's why Scorpio is getting a read today. If y'all want to continue getting reads from me, watch the damn videos. Yeah, I'm coming at y'all. Anyways, we're going to see what is in store for you. Like I said, a general read. We start off with the world in reverse right now. I don't have the rest of the cards here. I'm just going to show y'all this card. Of course, we're going to start with the... Let me cover her up. We're going to start with the tarot and then get into the oracle. But this is someone who isn't satisfied, someone who also cuts corners to get what they desire. Maybe that's a message to a Scorpio out there to not get into that. But let's see what the Scorpio, what do we have in store for Scorpio? I want to get at least 6 cards, or at least 5 more cards for you before we finish off the rest of this read. Okay, so I got the full picture here for now as far as the tarot goes. Like I said, we started off with that world card. You know, someone who either cuts corners, someone who's dissatisfied with something. What I'm seeing here is because there's a lot of Pentacles energy. Could be a dissatisfaction with your... That was a text message, but maybe a confirmation as well. But I think it's a dissatisfaction with your finances, maybe, because you have a lot of Pentacle cards. Not even just with your finances. I think it's a dissatisfaction with your life in general, what your dreams or what, like, where you are in life. And I think the answer, instead of it to cut corners, is what you're probably thinking of doing. The answer is to put in the work. The answer is not to wait around and, wait for answers. The hangman in reverse is what I call the standing man. The man who's just stalling around, doing nothing. Probably hoping that, somebody gives them the answers or just gives them the blessing. Man, woman, take it however it resonates, however you identify, but you're being heavily encouraged with a couple of cards here that you need to put in the work instead of actually, again, just standing around hoping things are going to fall in place. You might be someone who prays a lot. I mean, like, praying to God, not praying on people. But you might be someone who prays a lot, and because you are a person of God, you are of this belief that simply because you prayed for something, it's gonna come to you. But if you were actually someone who followed the word of God, or at least followed the Bible, you would know that the quote, prayer without works is just like hope, is something of that nature, right? So without the work, that you want to put in for the things for the life that you pray, you're just hoping at this point. Now, if that's something you want to do, don't listen to this read. But if you want to do more than just hope for the best, put in that work. You know? This is the first Pentacles card that I see. I rarely see the Nine of Pentacles in reverse, so I'm not saying it's impossible, but every time I've seen this card for reads for myself, which is pretty much what I do nowadays, or just, you know, reads outside of YouTube, which is what I don't do. But no, whenever the last few times I've seen this card show up in reads in general, or just reads for me, it was always upright. Now, I'm not saying you're the problem, Scorpio, or anything of that nature. This is someone who is very much superficial, someone who is bad at money, but also someone who focuses on their career a lot. I don't think a focus on your career is necessarily the problem here. It might be a solution. Not to the point where you're too career focused, to the point where obviously you're not spending time with, you're not living life outside of your job, essentially, right? But I don't think you focusing on your career or focusing on your finances is going to be the issue here. I think maybe that is a reminder of, like, well, if you do have some dreams and hopes for your, for your family, for the future, you might have to be better with your finances. But I'm gonna ask to clarify that Nine of Pentacles in reverse, just for, some extra clarification, just to see what's that about. Clarify the Nine of Pentacles, please. We have the Temperance in reverse. Someone who is not pretty much balancing. I'm going to say in this situation with your Pentacles in reverse, or Nine of Pentacles in reverse, someone who doesn't balance either work and play, so it could be you too focused on one aspect rather than the other, or a balancing of saving and living a life of luxury, right? Because you have all these dreams and goals and aspirations. And the reason why I say that, really, we're kind of jumping ahead, is because, but I'm going to show you anyways. It's because you have the Ten of Pentacles here that shows up. This is someone who is living an abundant life, but an abundant life with, a family, essentially, right? Family abundance is what I'm seeing here, and that seems to be a desire for you, or maybe a Scorpio out there, or someone with Scorpio placements. But to achieve that, again, you have to be better with your money. You have to make moves. Again, you can't be the stand-in man, the hangman that's in reverse. You can't cut those corners. Play fair, of course. You gotta do the work. There's no shortcut to this if that's what you want to achieve. Before that Ten of Pentacles, like I said, I did jump ahead. You got the Nine of Wands here. Someone who has the resilience and courage to not only defend themselves, but just having courage in general, And I think it's really pretty much you having faith in yourself that you can put in the work to build this Ten of Pentacles here. I think oftentimes, and this has happened to me as well, Scorpio, so I can identify with this. I think that the reason as to why you probably are terrible with your money, to be honest with you, is because a part of you, not saying all of you, but a part of you doesn't feel like you're worthy of, or you're capable of actually, saving money, or you're capable of obtaining whatever you want to obtain with your wealth, or with the wealth that you desire. So it's like, because there's a part of you telling yourself that I can't achieve this thing, then you're super willy-nilly with your money. Again, like that Nine of Pentacles in reverse. You're super, like, you're not spending right because you don't necessarily have that faith, or there's a part of you that's very loud. It might not be a voice that you hear often, but when you hear it, it's a loud voice that's telling you that, again, you're not worthy of achieving these things, or you can't achieve these things. Not necessarily that you're not worthy, that could be it too, but that you just can't do it in general, so you might as well spend the money. You know what I'm saying? I got paid today, or whatever the case is, and you know, with that paycheck, the week before you got paid, or however often you got paid, the lot prior to you getting paid, you were telling yourself, next time you get paid, do this with your money. And whatever that this was, it was most likely something responsible, something that wasn't, you know, splurging it away, throwing it away. But then as soon as you got it, that voice in your head said, you're not going to obtain whatever you desire, you know, whatever the 10 of Pentacles is for you. That could be a family abundance, right? You're not going to obtain that anyway, so you might as well do away with said money. And I think because of that, you know, that's where the overspending comes from, you know. But again, that 9 of Pentacles is telling you to have the courage to silence that voice, even if it is your own inner voice. Be resilient as well. Whatever monetary goal that you have, you can still build it up. It might take time. It will take time according to the world in reverse, because it says no cutting corners. But remember, that word in reverse is here, and it doesn't mean that it's here, but I would rather see the world in reverse than not see the world at all, because obviously the world still being present within the reading means that fulfillment is still a possibility, even when it's in reverse. Fulfillment is fulfillment is still a possibility. It's just you can't cut corners to get it. You have to put in that work. You have to be more resilient. Another card that is symbolic of hard work, resiliency, is the 8 of Pentacles. This is the last tarot card. You know, working hard, someone who's very much passionate as well. So yeah, like honestly, I think your message here is whatever, at least with the tarot, whatever, like if whether it's family abundance, something to leave behind for your family, abundance in general. Maybe you're not someone that wants to have a huge family or the traditional family. That abundance in general, it takes work to obtain. You know? Almost forgot. Let's try to get at least one more last card for the tarot. One last message for Scorpio. One last tarot message for Scorpio before we get into the oracle card. What is a final message that you have for Scorpio? We have the 8 of Cups here. Having a new perspective, also being able to let go. I know that Hangman in reverse is here. That's also let go energy. I don't think this is contradicting the Hangman in reverse. The Hangman in reverse is still is still a reminder that you're not doing what you could be doing. What that 8 of Cups is telling you is, one, having a new perspective once again on just your circumstances, on that voice in your head telling you that you can't obtain wealth, abundance, whatever, just because it's difficult. Having a new perspective on that, so shutting that voice out, but also letting go. Probably also letting go, I'm getting this as well. Letting go of your old identity. The old identity, once again, that's telling you that, one, you cannot obtain things that are difficult, and two, that you're just someone who spends money just to spend money, right? Let it go of that identity. even if you feel as though that's an identity that has served you well more than it harmed you, or you believe it's the least of your problems. It's a problem, but it's the least of your problems that you have. Still, it can work as a chopping block, where it's like if you let go of that side of you, maybe a materialistic side of you, since we're talking about the cups and pentacles, material things. Letting go that side of you, right, could work as a chopping block as to, chipping away at the other issues that you might have, that might be plaguing you, that might be stopping you from, again, obtaining what you desire. All right. So that's what I have for the tarot here. We're about to get into the oracle right now. All right. This is usually the part where I remind y'all to, hit that like, comment, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. Let's hope it doesn't go on deaf ears like it has been. But anyways, your oracle card is Wish Granted. Let me try to hold it up for y'all. Can y'all see? Wish Granted. So, told y'all the world was here, even if it's in reverse. But let's read this card. Wish Granted. The outcome may not be exactly what you want, but it's what you need. Short, simple, sweet, pretty straight to the point as well. Yeah, that's what I have for you today, Scorpio. If you would like more reads, Scorpio, or just anybody for that matter, how about you watch this video? Like, comment, share, subscribe, do all that good stuff to let me know that this is worthy of doing, because if not, I'll go back to not doing these things. All right? It's really no sweat off me. Anyways, hopefully you got something for real though. Hopefully you got something from this message. And until next time, whenever that may be, if there is, you'll see me when you see me. Take care.